Hey there. Welcome. Thanks for being here. I'm Stacey. You're joining me for some cards and some insights into the universe as we know it at the moment. Hence why we call it navigating reality, because that's what we find we do here. All right, let's jump into it. So we're going to start with a card from this fabulous Zoltar Speaks deck. It's a throwback to an old fortune-telling machine that would allow interesting insights. And frankly, our last reading was a little dramatic. I left it on a bit of a cliffhanger. I am still reading from home, but the tickets are booked, my friends. And I hope that you have created some really fabulous opportunity for yourself, whether it's a staycation, a vacation, an adventure, a change of scenery. You might be doing the same old thing, but doing it in a different town. And you know what? That's what we're being asked to do. It's an interesting time. I say that because the cards that popped out are... we had a little bit of a stack, so let's go through them. Alright, first one up. I just have to hold it because it's everything. Yeah, I know, right? That's the first one I saw as it popped out. So, again, congratulations, my friend. It sounds like things are turning around for you, which I'm really happy for you. It wouldn't be such a big deal if we were doing great all the time. No, it must be a change in the weather, my friends. Next one up is, we'll go through these one at a time. Okay, you've had to balance your time recently between work and friends. Your work consists of whatever you are obliged to do, and your play consists of whatever you are not obliged to do. Just remember that better is a person of humble standing who works for oneself than who plays the great person but lacks food on the table. This is a delicate balance indeed, because if you do not get it right, you may be likened to a tree whose branches are numerous but whose roots are few. The winds come along and uproots it and sweeps it down. You will soon master this balance. Work and love. These are the basics of life to master indeed. Oh, I love that for us. Great work. Oh, I love it. Okay, so let's get into it. Lucky numbers 42, 25, 41, 45, 44, and 33. Couple of master numbers in there. Big things. I love that for us. Okay, next card. I know, we've been going from one card to all the cards. No, I'm just kidding. But we did get a stack, and I want to go through them. All right, this one is... I'm sighing. A ship in the harbor is safe, but that is not what ships are built for. I shuffled the cards, my friends. Okay? We have stacks of cards, and we get the same one as we did yesterday. So maybe you didn't book. Spirit's calling you out. Just saying. Okay. Take risks and venture out of your comfort zone. If you don't move beyond where you are today, you will never have more or be more. There is a trip you have been thinking of taking. Go. You will make some valuable new contacts. We gotta go. We gotta go. Right? Like, life is waiting for us. Lucky numbers 39, 25, 50, 3, 8, and 32. I love that. Yes. Okay, next one. All right. You have not been wise with your money lately. This is a roller coaster, my friends. Seriously, it is important to reward yourself for your hard work, but you must learn that saving your riches now will pay off in the future. A fool and their money will soon part. Remember this next time you receive a sum of money and try to manage it wisely. Okay. All right. So... I don't know about you, but I didn't spend everything I had on a trip. That's for sure. I think it's important to be reminded that this is not about putting ourselves in risky situations. That's a very good point to make. This is about investing in, that's why I said staycation. We can do things without breaking the bank, but making it treating it like for a vacation for ourselves or somewhere to go that we are not. Which is a place of calm, a place of recovery, a place of restoration. And that's what we deserve. So I want us to get creative here, and thank you for the reminder, Zoltar. Last one. Okay, let's talk about it. You tend to look for what you want, but it is oftentimes not what you need. Instant gratification is tempting, but it doesn't always lead to long-term happiness. Try resisting human nature by looking beyond the luster of getting what you want right away. Have the patience to invest in something you need, and you will reap lasting benefits. Okay, interesting. So, this is helping us to understand that yeah, it means different things for everybody, right? That's the whole point of the cards, and I love that for us. Hopefully you're having your own aha moment as we connect the dots in meaning. This is an opportunity for us to invest in something long term, and that helps balance out any short term pains from wanting to get something right away. This is good. This is good. I think it's good for us to be aware that it's not always going to be as clear cut or one card says everything that we'd like it to be. Absolutely. And it's important to recognize that we have agency. We are agents of our own volition. We can do what we need to do because we are the ones making the decision. We are the ones driving the bus, my friends. So, when we're talking about external information, there's validation and then there is noise. Let's talk about this. So, one of my favorite online courses to help process emotions and to tell the difference between your intuition and emotion and noise and help is Dr. Emma McAdams. She has this fabulous channel called Therapy in a Nutshell. I'll put it in the description. And it's this free course. There's a bunch of different things that she talks about in how to tell the difference. For us, in this conversation together, I'd like us to think about emotion being important. However, it can get a little messy. It can get a little my way or the highway kind of vibe. And that's usually a sign that we are headed off into dangerous territory because there's always space. And the whole point of the work is to bring in more peace, contentment to our lives, which means building the skill sets we need to build in order to facilitate that, make it happen, and create safe spaces for ourselves. And that goes a little bit to the card around saving for money, right? Like it's about giving yourself, like I always like to say, a space to act with a little bit of grace. There's nothing worse than being like, oh crap, where am I? What have I done? Right? And to be fair, there are opportunities for ourselves to say, this feels like a good thing. Intuition is repetitive. Intuition doesn't yell. Intuition is more of a full-bodied knowing, while emotion tends to live in a particular part of our body, right? Like anger can be in our chest, sadness or dismay or disgust can be in our bellies. Fear at the back of our skull. Woo! Absolutely. Intuition, woo. It's a full-bodied knowing. Absolutely. It's the best way I can describe it. I mean, I'd like to hear from you, always. I'm curious to hear, do you know where your intuition resides within you? Is there a place in your body you associate with that? We could also talk about soul spark, right? And the whole idea that our seat of our power is at the base of our spine, in our tailbone. And there's this spark that's there that is absolutely connected to your everlasting, ongoing, deeper consciousness of yourself spark. And that is where the seat of our power, our energy is. If you were into meditation, you would be able to close your eyes and imagine a spark there in your tailbone or at the seat of your spine, and kind of enlarge in that spark, so that you are gradually. There's the G word I was looking for. you're gradually expanding that spark of that light. Now, depending on which type of practitioner or who you may be studying under, it can be like a white light, or I prefer sort of like a blue-green light. When we're dealing with spiritualism and other different aspects, the blue-green light actually is quite consistent in most documentation, as well as symbology within the stuff that's talked about within that religion. All right. So, as you're sitting there, you have the spark, and you are expanding the spark until you are enveloped in the spark. And what that is that you being enveloped in that light is you sitting in your own energy. It's you sitting in you. And it is an incredible feeling, my friends, when you realize that you are surrounding yourself without the other stuff in the way, because legitimately your energy is generating that field again within your aura, that you're then able to maintain that sort of space and to be able to let the energy kind of ping against your aura in order to bounce back to it. And it's an incredible feeling when you're in your own energy, because it is something that you so deeply recognize and know to be true without even having a sense of what it was or what it is or when you first encountered that. And it's a really powerful experience. I highly recommend. So yeah, next time you're doing your meditation, it's called Sitting in the Power is the exercise, my friends. And this, yes, I would have learned or really honed in on the practice within the spiritualist church that I used to be part of. But there's a lot of different other, not necessarily even religions, but ways of life, like Wiccan. Most organized religions talk about the power, like sitting in the power in different contexts. And then of course there's, it's just really fascinating to me from a research perspective, but like I said, ultimately from an experiential perspective, the idea of sitting in your power versus actually doing it, it's worth it to get a sense of that particular essence on your skin and what it feels like within your aura. And it allows you, again, to have a stronger affirmation of yourself and the energy that you're giving off, and how that correlates with the energy that's being emanated from your heart. It's a very cool vibe. And I think that's one of the reasons that I've stuck with my studies, practices, and explorations for so many years, is because once you experience those things, you're like, it's as real to me as the wind. It's as real to me as humidity. It is as real to me as, gravity, right? Like other invisible forces that we can't necessarily see or feel or touch unless it's coming at us or interacting with us in a particular way. And so once you learn how to engage the invisible in those different capacities, whether it's psychic, mediumship, spiritualism, like all sorts of different ways, mediumship, mindfulness. I said mediumship twice. Sorry, I meant meditation. You're working with your inner workings, the invisible, the abstract, but so real and universal to the human experience that you're able to see yourself in a system of belonging and really actually understand the context that we are all fingers on the same hand. That we are all made of the same molecules and neutrons and protons. I believe so. I gotta do a video on that and break it down for us. Anywho, now I've gone on a vent. I've gone on a bit of a rant, but let's talk about the cards again just to kind of reframe what we've been talking about today, which is how do we know when we get a bunch of, and I love how it started with your wish is granted, my friends. Your wish is granted because the universal intelligence, God, whatever you want to call it, source, spirit, it is a matter of connecting with that which already exists. And for those that get it, you get it. Being able to accept that when you have a desire, something is awakened within you, it's because you're awakening to its reality. And getting out of the way of that connection and recognizing that you are attracting it to you is a skill that we all have to develop. It's not something that we are, innately we might be able to as kids, but we lose it real fast because we mindfully, egoically will distract, talk, blabber, uh, shame ourselves, guilt ourselves out of it before we're ever able to connect with those things and in our adulthood. So relearning how to do that is a real skill, and a very worthy one at that. All right, so your wish is granted. Isn't it a beautiful thing? Your wish is granted. Now, that being said, you've had to balance the time between work and friends. And it's work and love, the basics of life to master. I love that. By the way, when I talk about mastery, I do not mean the power imposition or like the power imbalance that can go between master and subjugated. No, I mean as an understanding, and to such a depth that you are able to take in the information, analyze, critically assess, reframe through your own opinions, applications, actions, behaviors, and thought processes moving forward. That, my friend, is real mastery. Okay, so, yeah, I love it. Be humble, stick to your roots, you got this. Have your faith, my friends. You're meant to enjoy life. We're meant to enjoy life. We are meant to recognize that we live in a benevolent universe. And it really is that hard to believe. Otherwise, we'd all be living there. It's so much easier for us to say, oh, no, we are at the mercy of a malevolent God. Like, it just doesn't add up when you give it a chance. And I'm not saying it's easy. Oh, no. I tell you, years and years of fighting it or getting glimpses of it and then reminding myself and then going through that cycle of reawakening again and again and again. And also the full factor that we don't necessarily get things the first time we've heard it. So it really is a matter of going through cycles and systems and patterns again and again in order to intrinsically understand and master our circumstances. Okay, so the ship in the harbor is safe. So there's the trip. You got to go. And you're going to make some valuable new contacts. So let's look at this from the financial one. Yeah, you find a deal, you get to go. That's great. But more often than not, and especially when I was getting out of recovery and really working on managing, like having some sort of emergency fund and having some sort of awareness of cash flow and a sense that I was capable of maintaining like a working balance and being able to have a home over my head, all of those things came from being able to put myself into different circumstances, stepping outside of my comfort zone that way and going, look, where's a trip? Like, is it just to a coffee shop? Is it to an event that you want to go? Is it a different experience? Like, that's another thing for me. Like, and I love that they talked about work and love. How do you meet people? I'm absolutely against online dating because I don't like the capitalistic commercialization of people. I don't like shopping for people. I love connecting. I love energy. I love being around. I also love just having a good time without feeling like I have to meet somebody, right? Like, again, I want to show up expecting a good time or expecting that I'm having a good time because I've done the work and I'm making it so that I'm going to a place where I want to go. You know what I mean? That's what I want to put my focus on. So being able to reinforce that you want to go to a club or go to a coffee shop for a show, do it. You're going to meet some new people and it's going to be important, and I like that for you. So, fool with your money. Haven't been wise. It is important to reward yourself for hard work, but saving your riches now is going to be more helpful to pay off than paying off issues in the future. A fool and their money will soon part. So, the past is the past. We're not going to beat ourselves up for learning things the hard way. No, when it comes to money. It's not worth it. You spent way too much of your life already doing that. So, whatever happens tomorrow, it's Friday, payday, try doing things a little bit differently. All right, we are already at 19 minutes. Oh my gosh, this video is going away. I was going to say like, well, let's talk about finances. No, we'll talk about finances next video, okay? You remind me, put it in the comments that you want to hear about that, and I will talk about finances again. Wrapping it up, last reminder. Okay, so have the patience to invest in something you need, and you're going to reap lasting benefits. All right? You're worth it. I love you. Mwah. Thanks for being here. This was a lot of fun. And I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. Okay, bye.